Hello, everyone. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about teas because teas have become an important part of my ritual and my daily experience. Um, so when I started to lose my hair and um, I was going through that process, I knew it was a spiritual journey and a healing journey. And my guides were with me to support me through that. So I went to a homeopathic healer, and she worked with me in terms of detoxifying my body. And she strongly suggested and got me started with the process of working with nettle leaf in terms of creating a tea and a ritual with that. She's a wonderful healer. She has offices in Jamaica and in New Hampshire. Um, and so what I started doing was I started creating a ritual where I found this beautiful owl totem mason jar, and I mixed a combination of stinging nettle and oat straw, which she recommended to me for my healing, in addition to a couple other suggestions for teas. What's happened over the years is I have, depending on where my body is and what it needs, I will go to the local co-op or health food store where they have all of the herbs out and available. And I will kind of go through and I will ask my body, what do you need? There are some ingredients that I tend to use as my base that I'm going to share with you. And then you can also create your own teas. I do recommend doing the research before you take your teas in terms of medicines you might be taking or anything like that. Remember, I'm not a doctor, but your body usually knows what's best. And the wonderful thing about living in today's society, if you Google stinging nettle leaves, all of these articles will come up. So you can really do some research about not only the spiritual benefits of each herb, but the medicinal benefits, and also what your body might be trying to tell you in terms of finding that herb. So when I go to the homeopathic store, for example, you can just get a little scoop of the tea that works well for you. This is dandelion root. Um, I also have, I always use elderberry now in terms of my tea. This is more stinging nettle. I like to always get fresh, right, and add it into my combination. Um, I'm a, I love to work with anise. I like the taste. It has beautiful spiritual meanings and benefits. Um, for those of you that are struggling with hair loss or thyroid issues or anything like that, which I've been there, I know what that feels like. I highly recommend getting a magnesium powder like this and adding that into your tea. So let me tell you my ritual. What I do is at night, or in the morning, and it will work better for you depending on different phases in your life, is I create a ritual around my tea. So this is part of my ritual. Is this has been, I've meditated and prayed over it in terms of my healing work that needed to come from it, and I infused my energy with this jar and with these herbs to create the healing that I desire. And then what I do is at night is I have kind of a large teacup that I use, and everyone's going to use this differently. I actually have one of these large coffee mugs, and then I found this, which as you could see has the strainer on the bottom, and then I put an extra strainer on top of it with a little handle, so that way it makes it easier for me to pour. And what I do is I start with the strainers on the top of the tea. Um, I love the sound of a teapot that boils, so I've got my tea, and I add my hot water to my cup. And as I do it, I just say a little prayer and a blessing over this water, so that way it may be programmed with the highest healing possible. And then I take my herbs. And so, for example, I take my mix of stinging nettle. Now, this is a combination of stinging nettles, oat straw, spirulina, um, and dandelion root, and a couple others that, I work with. And then you just put, a little bit in the top of your strainer, and then kind of go intuitively with what herbs you need for your tea. And the wonderful thing about it is if you start doing this every night or every morning, it starts to become a ritual for your healing. And I let my tea steep for at least 5 hours. So that's one reason why I do it at night. So that way it has the whole night to kind of infuse and steep, and then I drink it cold. I sip it throughout the day. So for example, I'm going to be guided. I'm going to take a little bit of my dandelion root. And if you think about the dandelion represents, the yellow represents beginnings and new beginnings, and then you make a wish and you blow them out into the world, manifesting. The wonderful thing about the dandelion is it's often overlooked, but it has so many spiritual and medicinal qualities. If you look up from an Ayurvedic point of view, it's used in so much traditional medicine. Stinging nettle also, it grabs your attention. It's really well known for, detoxifying and healing and clearing out your system. Elderberry has an ancient tradition. It used to be that men when they would walk down the streets, they would tip their hat to the elder tree because it was considered a sacred healer in itself. And that's why, if you notice right now, elderberry is very common. People take the elderberry syrup for healing. It's wonderful for the immune system. But the elderberry itself has a rich tradition of being a sacred healer. It said that witches and wise women could transform at will between an elder tree and a woman, depending on where she needed to be or for protection. I like the anise. Anise is one of those herbs where if you're pregnant or lactating, you might not want to use this one. Definitely do some research on it. It's often used in depression. It's used in healing, but it can have some side effects with whatever medicine you're taking. I use a little, they say up to 3 scoops of these magnesium powder. It's great for your lungs, for healing the inside of your lungs. It's wonderful for your hair, for your nails, for your skin, for your joints. A lot of the herbs that I use have anti-inflammatory qualities, because if you're losing your hair, or if you're having thyroid issues, then your body is in a crisis mode and it's not healing properly. So that's one reason why you want to use that. Anise is also used for that in terms of making balms for the scalp. So I also am a doTERRA specialist, so I work with doTERRA. So you don't have to do this, but I'm a big fan. I use some of my essential oils. You have to make sure that it says supplement on it, or else you can't take it internally. So I do add a little bit of usually turmeric and the DDR prime, which is for cellular rejuvenation. And you just let this steep. So you've got this beautiful tea, and then I always go over it extra a little bit on the top, so that way we can get the tea steeping from the top as well. And just take a moment and hold your cup and just kind of infuse your energy into that tea for the best possible healing. Now, if you're doing my chakra embodiment, there are different herbs that are good for each chakra that you can add to your tea and work with specifically for that week. If you're in my regrowth program for hair regrowth and for immune system boosting, then again, you can double check with your doctor of which herbs will work, or your medicinalist. or intuitively. Go to the store, pick what you feel guided for, and then Google that and see how you feel with it. That's one thing that I love about the age that we live in. We can do that. So this will steep for me. You want to steep it for at least 1 hour. The reason why I like using these big coffee mugs is they're thermal, so they will stay hot for a very long time. So even though it's 5 hours later, when I come back, my tea is still warm and ready. And so you can kind of do this first thing in the morning and then drink your tea later in the afternoon, or you can do it at night and drink it in the morning. But the main thing is to kind of program that water and program that tea for healing and create a ritual out of it, because in the ritual, that's where a lot of the healing comes from. So trust your guidance, and everything is with purpose, and everything has meaning, and we don't realize it, and we become so disconnected from the medicinal meanings of all of the plants around us. Like the dandelion, people consider it a weed, but really it's got everything that we need right in it. The leaves are green to eat for salad. The roots you can use for teas. You know, every part of that beautiful flower, from the yellow to the roots, it's just healing for us, and it's all around us. They used to specifically plant dandelions for their medicinal purposes in the gardens, and now we're trying to destroy them and get rid of them. So in doing programs like this, we're kind of taking a step back and going back to our ancestors, going back to our roots and the inner wisdom that we have within us. So think of that, and think of all the things that are around you that are trying to teach you lessons, and become involved in your healing. You're a part of the living library of this planet Earth and this universe. So all the wisdom you need is right inside you right now. It's just a matter of tapping into it. And the wonderful thing about eating and drinking and celebrating is that's a way to connect to the world around you. And if you do it through intention, through healing, it will manifest so much faster in your healing in the physical world. So I hope that this video helps you, and I hope that it inspires you. If you would like to work with me, please check out my Facebook page, facebook.com/loveandlight, spelled LUVNL888. I also am a Reiki master and crystalline soma healer, and I would be honored to work with you privately in a one-on-one session in terms of subtle energy healing. And if you are looking for coaching or advice, I'd love to open up with you as well. So again, thank you so much for taking some time to watch this video. Thank you so much for investing time in yourself and your healing. Bravo to you for connecting mind, body, and spirit. And many wishes and many blessings. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.